Ronnie, how did you guys come out of the Michigan game as it relates to those 5 big plays? Like, okay, yeah. What was the conversation, I guess, afterward about how to limit those kind of plays moving forward?
It came down to 3 things, really. It's fundamentals, details, and execution. We didn't do either of those things on those plays specifically, and you kind of see how that resulted.
I know Coach Knowles has talked about the way he plays. Sometimes you expect those big plays to happen. I think it's like five or fewer. He feels okay about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, 5 kind of did you guys in that game. What was his message in terms of, I don't know, like dialing back the aggression or being more selective about the aggression when it comes to those moments?
Coach Knowles has a very he likes to call his plays the way he does. That helps us a lot. I think it helped us throughout the whole season. But like I said, it came down to just executing and doing our job. And on those plays specifically, we didn't do that.
Georgia's tight ends, both obviously challenge ones, All-American, and others. Washington's huge. When you watch them on film, what presents the biggest challenge for you guys in the secondary?
Just 2 athletic guys. They have a very athletic room. Not just those 2 guys, but they have different guys in that room that can do different things and kind of move better than the average tight end. But it's a challenge and it's an opportunity for the guys in the room and everyone else on the defense.
And with their quarterback stats, and they haven't taken a lot of sacks. The protection's been pretty good. When you see him, what is something with him that makes him tough to defend as well? He's obviously a better quarterback.
Yeah, like you just said, I think his experience, I think he's a little bit older than the guys that he's playing with, so he has that edge on some of his opponents. And anytime you're dealing with a QB who has experience, they can read things a little bit better. They can read the defense quicker and stuff like that. So you just got to be on your toes and make detailed preparation.
And how much, is there a difference to it when you know that a lot of the players on this roster are 4- and 5-star guys, a lot of the players on their rosters are 5-star guys, and a lot of NFL players are going to be on this field? Is there something to that makes it extra exciting to prepare for when you know a lot of these guys are going to be playing on Sunday on both sides?
That's what you come here for. You want to compete against the best and play against the best, and ultimately that makes you a better player. So that's what you come here for.
Ronnie, you guys have played good tight ends before. You guys have succeeded against good tight ends this year. Is there something different about Georgia knowing that they have 2, like you said, versatile tight ends on the field at the same time?
It's definitely going to be a challenge, like I said, but it's an opportunity for us to showcase our skills and as a defense to showcase that, whenever the challenge is presented, we're ready to take it on and handle business.
Are you guys as a team going to feed off the national perception that, Ohio State backed into it, they don't deserve to be here? Is that whole discussion point? Is that something that even enters your guys' thought process?
Nah, it doesn't really matter. Bottom line is what we playing in that game. So whether people feel like we should or shouldn't, it doesn't really matter because we are.
And Michigan played TCU before you guys. Michigan, if they win, how much extra motivation will that be if that's the prize at the end?
We gotta take it a day at a time, one practice at a time. Right now we're focusing on Georgia. So if that time comes, or when that time comes, we'll deal with it then.
Ronnie, when you have any loss or game like the Michigan game, how much in film do you go through and dissect maybe things that went wrong, or do you guys kind of know what went wrong and you flush it and put it behind you and move on to the next thing?
No, it's critical you dive into the film as a team, as a defense, as a unit. As hard as it is to watch the plays and stuff like that, you have to do it. It's part of the game. And I think we did a good job of going over our mistakes and stuff like that. So we kind of have to.
Nobody wants to make mistakes. You guys work every day to make sure they don't happen. But when you look at what happened, how fixable would you say some of the issues against Michigan are?
It's very fixable, and I think that's what hurts us the most. Because, no matter how the outside looks at it, we know what happened, we know what went wrong. Obviously, we got to do better and we got to fix it. There's no excuses, but I think that's what hurts the most when you know that it's problems that are fixable, just stuff that you do routinely.
So I can understand why that would hurt, right? But also, is there a part of it, and not that it's going to be easy against Georgia, obviously it's 2 great teams, but is there some idea of like, okay, we can make sure we don't do those things again in this next game, and if we don't make those same mistakes, we're going to be in a much better spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so that's because sometimes it can just be like, oh man, like we did our best and a team still attacked us, right?
Yeah, no, that definitely wasn't the case. So yeah, we got to correct the things that we need correcting on.
Okay.
I would say we definitely did pretty well against him. He had a lot of hype coming into the season, so it was a huge challenge for us, but also, like I said, an opportunity for us to showcase who we are as a defense. I would say I don't remember his stats, but I don't think he did too crazy.
He had like one big play, but no, it wasn't.
Yeah.
He didn't go crazy for sure.
He had like 9 or 10 catches, but for like nothing yards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the key, right?
Yeah. So we knew they were going to target him a lot, but we just got to hold those explosive plays down.
I mean, the reason is like, I think Mayer and then the combination of Bowers and Washington, I think those are probably the best tight end situations in the country. And it's like, okay, well, you opened the season with one of those, and I thought you guys did as well against him as anybody in the country. Do you learn anything? Does that mean anything now when you're playing another offense that features the tight end and has some really talented guys at that position?
Just another opportunity to showcase our skills.
Yeah.
We'll do the work and do the right film study and stuff for them. Like I said, they do a lot of stuff with their tight ends, but it's just another chance for us to showcase our skills.
Right. What has been drilled the last 2 weeks too, though, about basically 3 big plays against the secondary. I mean, when you break it down, because 3 big pass plays for touchdowns. What have y'all drilled mostly about that? About knowing where your help is, about knowing you don't have, one where a guy just broke right out over the middle and there was no safety there, obviously, because y'all were doing other shenanigans with your safety. What were, I guess, the lessons learned from that, from those 3 plays in particular?
We talked about those and after watching the film. These past few practices, we've just been working on the basics and fundamentals. The coaches have done a great job of explaining to us what went wrong and stuff like that. So we've been drilling those things. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a thing about giving up a 25-yard pass but not letting it go for 50, right? I mean, is that part of the drill?
Yeah, that's
Sometimes you are
part of
gonna
being
get
a DB. Yeah, you got to get the ball on the ground. They might catch a big one or they might run a big one, but it's on us as a secondary, as the last line of defense, so to speak, to get the ball down. So when you fail those things, you got to drill those things and practice over and over.
We'll probably ask you this next week or a week and a half from now in Georgia, but I'm going to ask you right now. When you're playing a guy like Stetson Bennett, who can just keep a drive alive by running, scrambling, well, J.J. McCarthy did that a few times, and some other quarterbacks did that against y'all. What have y'all, I just re-emphasized in that regard about not letting quarterbacks escape? Because occasionally they're going to do it anyway.
Yeah, for the secondary, whenever that quarterback's scrambling or anything like that, we're kind of taught to plaster our guy, stay man-to-man on our guy and let the D-line or linebackers, whoever containing the quarterback, to do their job. So we all have a job on the field. If we all do our job, we'll all be happy.
What are your impressions of the receivers? I know you talk about the tight ends, but McCollum is one of the guys who made several big plays for them, and Jackson. It's almost like we talk about the tight ends so much that they've got 2 pretty good guys on the
Yeah, no, they definitely have 2 good receivers. Definitely something that we're not overlooking. We've watched the film, and I really like 84. I feel like he's one of those really good detailed, shifty receivers that you always gotta, lock in when you line up against. They have a great set of receivers, and like I said earlier, it's just another great chance for us to show our skills. Another good opportunity.
Ronnie, I know you guys run whatever Coach Knowles calls for you guys, but I think Michigan's first touchdown, I think you and Lathan blitzed, and I think Tommy and Steele blitzed on that play. An aggressive call and 1 missed tackle, and it's a touchdown. I know Coach Knowles and Coach Day have said you guys want to be aggressive, right? But just in general, what's it like for any defense trying to balance being aggressive, 0 blitz at times, get after them, and then all the other times maybe drop coverage and make them make a play? I know it's easy from here to try to look at it, but what is the right balance for any defense?
I'm not a D coordinator, a coach or anything, but like I said earlier, it comes down to 3 things: fundamentals, technique, and execution. And on those plays those big plays, we didn't do either of those 3 things. It came down to a tackle that needed to be made, we didn't make it. And several other plays where it came down to, simple things that we just know that we could do, and we just failed to do it on that play. So at the end of the day, we just got to get better on those things.
When you guys do at times, though, come after a quarterback, what kind of effect does that have? Maybe even if you don't get home on that play, how important is it maybe at times to put that in a quarterback's head to let him know there's going to be times when you guys are going to get after him with a couple blitzers?
It's good. As a blitzer, it's fun.
Yeah.
As a defender, it's not so fun. You kind of just praying on them to get there as quick as possible, but it's needed in this era of college football.
Yeah.
You know, you got to put pressure on the quarterback. You got to force him to get it out early and stuff like that. And it's worked for us, you know, this whole season. You know, it doesn't just come down to one game, but like I said, we failed to do those things and those big plays during that game, and we just got to work on those to get better.